Welcome back to another Waynos Fotos video. And today the question is, should you have a radar on your bike, or is just turning the head good enough, guys? Well, anyway, let's roll that intro and let's just have a bit of a dive into, how good these radars are and if they're actually worth having on your bike. Well, there are a number of smart rear light products on the market, and one of them is the Fly 6. And what this does, it actually has a camera in it and records, and it actually has a looping system, so when it actually completely fills up the little SD card, it overrides it and goes back again. So you have continuous filming, so it never switches off, it never stops. And what it does is if you have an accident, it centers that inertia, and then it films for half an hour and then cuts off. So you have all of the information that revolves around the accident and what immediately happened afterwards. And then you also have the Garmin Varia radar, and this went through a few cycles. Originally it was actually a startup, and then Garmin bought it, and now they've perfected it. And then you also have other devices which sense the inertia of the bike, and when you start braking they start flashing or get brighter, so the vehicles behind you know that that you are slowing down. So there's been some smart devices coming onto the market. Now the difference between these two devices is one is proactive and one is reactive. Now the devices that actually give information to the driver before there's an event are proactive, and the ones like the Fly 6 are reactive, because what the Fly 6 does, it actually captures the event. So if there's any problems afterwards, like the driver lies and says, no, the cyclist swerved out in front of me, and that's why I hit him, and then you have some evidence, some footage. So if you go to your lawyer, insurance company, you can show that that's not what happened, and you can say that you can got evidence to show that this driver just ran into the back of you for no reason. So that's actually really good stuff and really good information. And the Fly 6 is actually a really game-changer device. And I've actually read some long threads on some of the forums where that information has really helped them, justify what the actual event was and actually affected their insurance claim. So fantastic device. Now, when you look at the other ones, which are proactive, like the Garmin Varia radar, and these ones that have inertias in them, and the light gets brighter or flashes when the vehicle's coming. The actual Garmin radar actually flashes when the vehicle comes. So they're actually giving the driver more information. And what's really good about the Garmin Varia radar, it actually gives the rider more information. So you can actually see how far the car is away from you, right? And you can also see how many cars, and that's actually very critical information. So the Garmin Varia radar is really what this video is about. So now we're going to focus on that specific piece of equipment. Now, if we didn't have a radar on our bike, we would actually have to do a head turn and check, that there's no traffic coming. Now, the difference between having a radar and having a head turn is, when you turn your head, you can see the car. But generally, you can only see the immediate car, the car that's behind you. And also, it's very hard to judge from just a quick head turn the speed of the vehicle, how quickly it's coming towards you. The driver actually may be slowing down or accelerating, and you can't really detect that from just a quick head turn. But which is really good about the Garmin Varia radar is that you can actually see this in real time on the screen. You can see the vehicle actually coming towards you, and the Garmin radar actually has different color codings on the LED to tell you how fast that's actually happening. So you can actually judge, you can go, look, the car's miles back, and you can actually change lanes, and the driver's going to have heaps of time to slow down. So this is where I see that the radar has such an added advantage over just a head turn. The Garmin Varia radar also has another feature where basically it can pick up to 6 vehicles. So if you were just say riding along and you wanted to turn right, you're coming up, I'm in Australia, so we drive and ride on the left. If you're in some of the other countries, you ride on the right, it's the opposite. But I'm going to talk from Australia. So I'm on the left-hand side of the road, and I want to move across into the inside lane because I want to turn right at the next intersection. So I do a head turn like this, and I see one car, and I go, okay, well, I'll wait for this car to go past. But then there's another car behind it, and then I sort of get stuck in the lane and don't get a chance to move across. But if I've got the radar, I can actually see up to 6 cars in a row. It'll pick them up. So if I'm looking at my cycle computer and I see 6 cars, I know, hey, look, I've just got to slow down and wait because after the next car, I'm not going to have a space to move across to do my right-hand turn. So this is where I see that it's really, really good. And I love my radar for this very specific thing, that the information it gives you. And also, a lot of times, you know, you can just be riding down the road and there's a car parked, and you just look down at your radar, and then you can actually see that there's a car coming. But because the radar picks the car up so far back, and you can see that the speed it's moving towards you in real time, you can actually make a judgment once you get used to the radar and go, oh look, the car's miles back, I'm just going to move out, go around this parked car because I've got heaps of time. I don't actually have to then try and do a head check and judge. I actually have that in front of me, and I can keep my eyes on the road, I can keep my eyes on the vehicle that's parked, so I know how far I am away from that vehicle, and I'm also getting information from my radar. Now guys, I actually made a very in-depth video about the functionality of this radar, and if you're interested in finding out more about the Garmin Varia radar, go and check that up in the corner here before you go out and have a look at these, or go a naysayer or yeah, because they're quite an amazing device. So, in conclusion, what would be the ultimate product would be as if you had a Fly 6 here and you had a Garmin Varia radar, and somehow they did some sort of, you know, interaction and popped out a device that actually did both. Now that would be the ultimate product, but unfortunately that doesn't exist, and fitting a Fly 6 and a Garmin Varia radar on your bike, not only would it look a bit crappy, it'd actually be quite difficult to actually fit them both on your bike. Although if you're really keen to do that, you probably could do it. But yeah, I think both devices really have some real advantages for cycling, and I like to take the look on, I'd like to avoid the accident in the first place, so that's why I bought the Garmin Varia radar. But I have actually read and seen situations where the Fly 6 has been absolutely worth its money, in the fact that it added information after it with the insurance claims. And the other thing, that I had a guy at work, he actually found the Fly 6 on the road, and he went and watched the footage, and you could see where the guy left his home and actually went back to the house, knocked on the door and gave him back his Fly 6 device. So there you go, that's another advantage for the Fly 6. Well, thanks guys for watching, and that's where I'm going to leave it. And remember to check out my other video if you want to know more information about the Garmin Varia radar. And remember to subscribe and ring that bell, and I'll see you next vid.